Well, hello there, and thank you for coming out tonight. Tonight's topic are SMART goals, traditional SMART goals, dumb. And we're going to look at, is there an alternative? Maybe some other ways we can set goals with our horses, and then open the floor up for some questions afterwards. So first of all, let's do a little review, see if you remember what SMART goals stand for. Or maybe you were a lucky generation and they skipped SMART goals and they developed new protocols before you. But a lot of people my age learned SMART to set goals and timelines, and the S stood for specific, the M for measurable, the A for achievable, the R for relevant, and the T for time-based. And I'm going to postulate that, particularly for horse lovers, those are DUMB. SMART goals are dumb for horse lovers. And as usual, most of this learning that relates to the horses will spill over into our other lives too, and we can think about that afterwards. In the meantime, I want to kind of look at how maybe we could question each of those acronyms, the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based, and look at what that looks like between horse and rider. So for me, I look back and wonder if I had taken off, particularly the T in the SMART goals, if I hadn't been so stuck on riding in the 1992 Olympics when I was 22 years old, which is a fair long shot for anyone from anywhere. That's a young age to do 3D eventing in the Olympics. Not unheard of, but ambitious, let alone for a kid from North Timbuktu. So a little ambitious. And my point is that my ambition meant that my horses paid for my ambition. Would I have asked as much from my horses? Would I have had more patience if I wasn't so hellbound on it being in Spain, of all places, in 1992, when I was 22 years old, on O'Reilly specifically? What if I had used some other formula than SMART goals and given it up to the universe? Maybe I would have got something better than some fairly adrenalized riding and some horses that dug deeper than they should have for me, I would say. So what if we had taken that time-based part out of it and I'd kept the goal of excellence and harmony with horses and developed the ability to run like we did cross country up and down hills and over ditches and all the things, but without that timeline in the way? What other magic might have happened? Might I have had success on all kinds of other levels with all kinds of other horses? So if we go back even to pick apart this model and go, well, should our goals be specific with horses? Younger me, the older version of me, would have said, yes, you have to have a plan every day. You need to know what you're aiming for. Today, I'm going to work on the shoulder in, typically because it relates to a movement in a dressage test that I have to be able to ride when I upgrade next weekend to the intermediate level or training level or whatever. And I have to do a half pass or whatever. So today we're practicing the half pass. Does it have to be specific? Does it have to be measurable? How are we going to measure this? Maybe I think we could measure it. We could argue for measurable because the feel of it should be achievable, relevant. So what we want to practice should relate to our goal, and time-based. Again, no, time-based falls apart. So what if we approached this with, instead of creating a feel of what we wanted, so rather than wanting to improve our dressage score by X%, or get better scores on a particular movement within the dressage? What if we aimed for it to feel better when we rode it? What if we knew what that looked like and felt like ahead of time? Because we can't create something we haven't seen and felt before out of thin air. Particularly at a horse show, we need to have ridden it in our bodies and our minds and our hearts in a way that feels soft, in our applying our dream aids the same way every time, for every transition, for every jump, and picturing it flowing and going well. We have to be able to know what that feels like and to aim to recreate that feel and make that the goal. So what if we make it the goal to check with each moment we're riding, each transition we do, to check in with ourselves? And this I got from Karen Rolfe. Ask ourselves, do I love it or change it? If you love it, just love it more. Show the horse, yes, I love it. And maybe go work on something else or put more love into it. And if you don't love it, change it. And get curious. Ask yourself what needs to change for you to love it. So if you are struggling with confidence or frustration and or show nerves, chances are you have just been handed the wrong model and are maybe through no fault of your own focusing on the wrong things. So we are going to take this up with a mental performance coach who's going to give us another model to work with called WHOOP. And I'll let her tell you what that stands for and how to apply it. You can join us on August 20th live and stay to ask her questions. It'll be 7 p.m. EST. And it will be recorded for a podcast. So I want to leave you in the meantime with these tips for how do we set goals with horses? Well, I think ultimately our goal shouldn't be to upgrade to or to do, but for our skills that we practice and do together just to feel flowy and better and happy. And to be able to do that, to be able to bring it from mundane into magical, you're going to step into the flow with your horses. And if you're struggling to get the flow with horses, I want you to remember some exercises that we have as bonus exercises in the course and that I've done here and there with you guys. And that is your heart math breathing. Find a rhythm, whether it's a grooming rhythm or you're walking with them when you're leading them in, whether you are mounted at the walk, or you're cantering. You're going to count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 as you canter and you trot. You're going to count and you're going to breathe and be very conscious of your breathing. You can try 2 different breathing techniques. Both of them breathe through the heart as though there's a nose in your chest and fill your bellies. You can choose the even rhythm in and out through the nose. No one will see or notice you doing that. Not that we care if it's effective. And so even breath in through the nose, out through the nose, concentrating on the area of the heart and bringing together a positive emotion. And if you're practicing something, you might think about a positive quality that you're looking for in the shoulder in you're about to do, or the trot to walk transition you're about to ask for, or the, how can I wake them up and have them do kind of a perky awake walk to trot transition? You're going to focus in on your breath find a positive quality, a positive emotion, and ask in the rhythm. Know when those hind steps are stepping. Keep practicing the in through the nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Out through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Or even rhythm with their gait. Then you can try double the out breath to in breath. This one's in through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Out through pursed lips with resistance, as though you're blowing into a straw, maybe a straw that's in a milkshake. Into 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. Out 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. In 2, 3, 4. In 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 2. These are exercises that will help to bring you into the flow with your horse. It'll bring your nervous system into alignment. It'll regulate your nervous system, and you can co-regulate your horse. Within that, you can bring the energy up if you need to, or down. And you will be tapped in and tuned into your instincts. So until we meet and discuss the whoop goals and what they might look like replacing our SMART goals and why they're dumb, I want you to take that home and chew on that and infuse a little bit of that into your work and let me know how that helps. You want to focus on the feel and not on the timeline. What does it feel like when? And get curious. Be present and be able to feel in your body and recreate a feel in your body of when it went well. So until we meet again, I'll leave you with that to think about. And I'm going to tell a little bit of a story as well about a little girl that I helped out over the weekend who was tremendously courageous with a horse that took her through her worst nightmare. So they've been having an issue crop up and rear its ugly head just before the biggest thing they were going to all summer, the D rally. And this horse would just lean into the bit or the hackamore or whatever tool they had and just exit stage left at a certain point in their dressage test. And oh my God, what if that happens at C Rally? Was a lot on her mind. And we create what we see. And of course, it happened. And I was there near the corner of the ring when her worst nightmare came true, and I saw it cross her face as that pony exited the ring and she was eliminated. Oh. So I asked if I could bring her in. I asked the TD, can I complete the test with her? And I'll just walk in with him. And I walked in the ring. We picked up. I asked her where she left off. I was circling at B. Okay, I'll just come with you. And I ran with her to trot circle at B. What's next? Canter at C. Okay, you're going to have to canter on your own. Can't canter that fast. She cantered a circle at C around me, and I caught back up with her. We went up center line and we finished the test. And as we went up center line, I was like, congratulations. Oh my God. Oh, you must be so relieved. Your worst nightmare is behind you. Woohoo! How was it? You just lived it. You might have created it. We could argue that thinking about it, practiced it, and created a likelihood for it. But one way or another, when you have a moment where you go, whoa, I've just come out the other side of my worst nightmare. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? Boom. So that really hit home for her. And I was like, you get to have fun now. You get to go jumping. That horse loves to jump. There's nothing wrong with her horse. He did the show jumping and the cross country. And I thought it was a beautiful story for us to think about those moments where, oh, okay, my worst nightmare is behind me. And just to get curious and ask ourselves, did I create that? Did I think that into being? Is that what I worried about all the way up to this weekend and this big thing that I was doing? How many times, sometimes it happens, right? We're going to be like picturing a course and whoa, oh, we picture ourselves knocking it down or something. Sometimes it happens. Check out how often that happens for you. For every negative you have, you want to put at least 3 more positives in. And I'm going to teach you a little trick here, a little value added trick that I learned at that workshop in Montana that changed my life. So we want to be able to picture everything we do and put it in our bodies with like our dream cues or aids or way of communicating with our body, with our horse, and picture like, okay, on the out breath, half halt, and then we're going to just smoothly come into walk. And then we're going to, like, you should be able to create it all in your body and in your mind ahead of time and get into your body and do a body scan and be able to recognize ahead of time the pattern, the timing, so that it is always the same for your horse. Ask yourself, how was that one? Do I love it? Do I need to change it? What could I do? Did I project? Did I do it on the out breath? Did I do it when that hind leg was pushing off? Where were my hips? Where were my feet? Oh, that felt amazing. Oh, if your coach goes, yes, anchor that in your body for a moment. We need to be able to crumple up in garbage and throw away the mistakes and go, okay, yeah, I understand it, but I don't want to practice feeling that. I don't want to keep picturing it because that's very likely what's going to happen next. So your homework is your visualization with your breath work in the rhythm of the walk, in the rhythm of all the gaits. And if you have a hiccup and you go, oh, I visualize knocking that one down, Paige, try this. Just stop the frame, have that freeze frame for a moment. Make sure you're regulated. And then with your eyes, which are closed, imagine drawing an X across the image in your head, the image of disaster that you're worried about. You're going to start with it upper left and draw your eyes closed, but down across your line of vision as though you're looking down to your right. And then you're going to bring them up to the upper right corner and draw them down to the bottom left. So you're making an X across that. And then you're going to picture doing it well again and again. And that's how you ride good. Congratulations. Now you don't need me anymore. So thank you for coming out. I'm going to open up the floor for some questions and just pause the recording. That was a good question about Peter Gray and Colonel Gutowski's quote. It was those two who said that. And they always said, in relation to competitive riders and trying to decide when to upgrade and move up a level, they always said, better a year too late than a day too early when considering upgrading. So it's always better to go slower, really. Can't go wrong that way. So I think that was it for the questions. If you have any observations, let me know how these tips have helped you. And as always, take a chance and remember anything is possible together.